For the last 12 years, every time I've visited a Disney theme park, it's been preceded by at least a couple of hours of good old Disney planning. As the parks get busier and more complex, and the price continues to climb, it's almost a necessity to get your money's worth. I'm a planner by nature, so I actually enjoy this part. So, the night before my first ever visit to Tokyo Disneyland, I set some time aside and did my studies. Download the Disney Resort app before your visit. Arrive 1 to 2 hours before the official opening time. The Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast is always busy, so make that a priority. Once your ticket is scanned, use the app to reserve your first free priority pass. You can obtain your next priority pass 2 hours later or after the start time of your previous priority pass. Introducing Premier Access. Introducing Entry Request. Introducing Disney Mobile Order. At this point, as strange as it may seem to any non-theme park folk out there, this was all pretty standard fare for an enthusiastic Disney fan. See, I'm no stranger to Disney theme parks because I love visiting. I enjoy the Disney movies as much as the next, but it's the parks that really hit the right note. As corny as it sounds, for me, there is a magic to this place. Maybe it sinks back to childhood memories, maybe it resembles a safe haven away from life's problems, maybe it's just a deep appreciation for its theming, rides, and environment. So I want you to know upfront that this isn't some throwaway negative Disney video, nor is it a blind faith love fest. It's an hour-by-hour retelling of the fantastic highs and disappointing lows of visiting Tokyo Disney in the modern-day era. Now, I had heard that Tokyo Disneyland specifically was busy on a whole other level, and that's why I spent all those hours of planning getting up to date. I've had countless Disney plans before, and they have always paid off and always meant I'm able to tick everything off my list. But as I'd soon find out, the levels of people were so high that despite all this research surely putting me ahead of the vast majority of parkgoers, it would be the first time that all this preparation was no longer good enough. The park is set to open at 9 AM, so I arrive 90 minutes early and there's already a sea of people in front. Maybe I should have got here at 7, but no worries, I have the plan. Probably the same plan as everyone else in front of me, but hey, there's enough to go around. It's now 8:30 and Happy Entry starts, which is hotel guests gaining access 15 minutes early. Which means that 8:45 the park gates open early and I'm shuffling towards these magical gates. Once my ticket is scanned, most people are heading towards Beauty and the Beast, as am I. There is a slight urge to run hysterically towards it, but I remember I am English and I will remain calm. Now that my ticket's been scanned, while still walking, I bring out my phone and book my first priority pass. For those who remember FastPass, this is basically a digital version, but now from the convenience of your own phone. I reserve a priority pass for Space Mountain between 10:10 and 11:10. Cool. I look up from my phone and approach the ride entrance for Beauty and the Beast, marked by this stunning French chateau. And it's here that I do my first double take. The wait time is already 140 minutes. Like, how is that even possible? The park has only been open 25 minutes for hotel guests and 10 minutes for the public. It's not even 9 AM, the park shouldn't even be open yet, and there's 140 minutes worth of people at this one ride. And if you're assuming they're just overestimating the wait times, we'll get to that later. Anyway, I immediately realized my first mistake, something I hadn't read during planning. This ride is already so busy that to join the back of the queue, you don't head towards the entrance. No, the back of the queue is in the next land over, so I walk for a good minute. Watching the castle slip into my past, my gut gets uneasy. So I am now in my first queue at Tokyo Disneyland, and I really don't mind queuing. It's expected within a Disney park, but 2 hours and 20 minutes this early into the day? For comparison, just 1 week ago I was at Universal Studios Osaka. Here I followed a similar plan to get into the massively busy Nintendo Land. I arrived 90 minutes early, used their single rider lane for free, which Disney didn't offer, and that all meant that I only waited 10 minutes for the crazy new popular Mario Kart ride. Tokyo Disney was a whole other beast. But that's normally the beauty of arriving early at a park. You can experience 2 or 3 of the most popular rides with little wait, and then when it does get busier, the wait times are fine as you've averaged them all out, making the early rise worth it. But after just 5 minutes in this queue, I realised I'd lose all of that early advantage with this one ride. I've never experienced this many people this early into the game. So I hastily made a decision that 10 minutes ago hadn't even crossed my mind. I was going to succumb to my fear of missing out and purchase Disney Premier Access. Premier Access allows you to purchase a skip-the-line entry. Considering Disney offered FastPass completely free for 20 years, the decision to now charge for this service has understandably caused a big backlash, even amongst the most die-hard of Disney fans. The silver lining here is the weak Japanese currency, so my 2,000 yen doesn't break the bank, but I still feel like an absolute mug for paying anyway. But I'm only here for one day, so I can justify it. By the time I've added my car details, it's 9:03 and the wait now stands at 170 minutes, with the next available time slot 3 hours away. I click purchase, the cogs spin, and the payment is accepted. Okay, so I've booked Space Mountain for an hour's time, got Beauty and the Beast reserved after that. What to do now? The nearest ride to me also has a 2-hour plus queue. There's Monsters Inc., a 50-minute wait apparently, and that's easily done by listening to a single podcast episode. For those wondering, my wife has more sense than me, so is still in bed. I look at my watch and it's been 55 minutes in line. Those wait times seem to be pretty accurate. After someone yells at me in Japanese, I take my seat, hoping it isn't important. But after now being inside the park gates for 80 minutes, the attractions can finally begin. It's my first time riding Monsters Inc. and it's fun for what it is. I'm given this torch which I can point towards various monsters, which will in turn make them react in various ways. It's a solid start and I'm already feeling my energy slightly rekindled. As I exit through the gift shop, I realise it's already time for one of my favourite Disney staples. Upon arrival, I flash my free priority pass, bypassing the common queue, feeling like the Lion King. The plan is back on track. Walking through the priority line, I noticed several times that here, Space Mountain is sponsored by Coca-Cola. That must have cost an absolute fortune, and for what gain, I ask myself. I mean, I'm certainly too intelligent to fall for some brand association marketing, that I can be sure of, and it certainly won't become relevant later in this video. Whilst queuing, I realise I can now book my next priority pass, since I just used the first. I remember reading that Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters is usually the next most popular free pass, but by now, the next available slot is 6 long hours away. So I reserve the ticket and get my head back into the theming, with my current priority pass turning what is now a 90-minute wait into just 15. Space Mountain has recently seen a resurgence at Tokyo, since it's soon to be closing for a reimagined version. So at least for me, this finality made it even more special, and the pitch black roller coaster is as atmospheric and exhilarating as it's ever been. Completing my Tomorrowland experience then is Star Tours, with a tantalizing 35-minute wait. For those that don't know, it's a pretty unique 3D simulator in that the ride sequence is always randomized. This means guests will experience any 4 out of a possible 21 different segments, which amounts to 700 possible combinations altogether. Although it's a ride I'm really familiar with, it's executed really well and is always a fun experience. I glance at my watch and wow, it's already gone 11 AM. It's a little earlier than I'd have liked, but this means it is now lunchtime. The plan says that peak lunch really kicks off from 11:30, so now is probably a good time to get in before everyone else. Oh, you have no idea how very wrong I was. If you've ever watched or read any theme park tips content, they all make an almost passing suggestion to eat outside of peak lunch hours. Only sometimes do I pay attention to it because generally, even when it is a bit of a wait, it isn't that much of an issue. The plan suggested Tomorrowland Terrace, and here it is looking empty. The reason being is that it has the most number of seats, but I also just really wanted a burger. I open the app to see where it was, and I'm shown a 30 to 45 minute wait time. Ah, but there's the new Disney mobile order system. This lets you reserve a 10-minute collection window, but the next available slot clashes with the parade. I look at the Queen of Hearts banquet hall, but that's an hour's wait. I don't want to be locked into a 10-minute food reservation window, so I notice a 10 to 30-minute wait for Gaston's selling sandwiches. Hopefully it'll just be on the lower end of that estimate. I walk to the doors of Gaston's and yeah, I've clearly learnt nothing from this morning, as again I'm headed to the entrance when in fact the sandwich queue starts all the way over here. So I take my place and question my life. I wait long enough to see inside, hoping that that's near the end, but yeah, this is absolutely 30 minutes. Since I've got Beauty and the Beast coming up soon, this possibly doesn't then give me much time to find a space for the parade, so instead I enjoy this Kit Kat I brought with me. Note to self, next time, bring more Kit Kats. So with some time on my hands, I take a breather and check out Cinderella's castle up close. This iconic centerpiece is actually my most sentimental Disney tradition and has lasted for 25 years. Whenever I exit a Disneyland or Magic Kingdom, right as I'm leaving, I always take one final glance over my shoulder. Not only is it sad to leave such a happy place and go back to the real world and its problems, but it's a quiet thank you for a fun day. I wonder how I'll actually be feeling by tonight. As for right now, aside from hunger, I am feeling bemused yet a little overwhelmed all at the same time. Lucky for me though, Disney is about to blow my mind. Whenever a new Disney ride is being shown on a YouTube video, I always look away from the screen. I want to go in totally blind for what's about to happen. Indeed, I'm possibly the only parks fan in the world who still doesn't really know what to expect at Florida's Pandora and Galaxy's Edge. But the reason why I look away is exactly for moments like this. I have absolutely no idea what I'm walking into, and it's a joy. The pre-show and line itself is everything you'd expect, setting the tone and scene perfectly. But as I see the cars we're about to ride in, I know I'm in for a treat. The first thing I notice is that these teacups are trackless, which always impresses me. The ride is structured into different rooms, each depicting key scenes from the movie. Unfortunately, I can't include the music being played here or this video will get a copyright strike, but just imagine sitting in a very excitable teacup that's floating in air as if by magic, with Lumiere singing Be Our Guest. And it's at this very point that I forget all about the plan. Forget about the wait times, hell, even forget about the fact that the only thing I've eaten for the last 7 hours is a tiny Kit Kat. This is something only Disney can pull off, and it literally sends chills down my spine. Lasting 8 minutes in total, it's longer than your average ride, and for me should be the blueprint for modern day attractions. Moving across 4 different rooms for 2 minutes each really allows you to soak in the atmosphere. You're not just passing an animatronic for 10 seconds and then moving on to the next. And I'm so lost in this moment that I don't even wonder where this is all going to climax. As the melody that accompanies the words "tale as old as time" begin, we enter into that ballroom and I have no words. It's one thing to witness an embracing Beauty and the Beast right in front of you, it's another to be dancing around them, and as I assume is intended, dancing with them. You literally become part of one of Disney's most famous moments. We are now a collective group of teacups, dancing with Beauty and the Beast, and I think I've just died and gone to Disney heaven. This cannot be topped. Or can it? No, it can't. Feeling like Rapunzel, I step into a new world. It's now 12:30, Disneyland is my oyster, and yes, I'm feeling apprehensive still, but positive about completing my Disney list. I head towards Fantasyland with the parade being my end goal. I still keep an eye out for food, but the lines are even longer now and my stomach grumbles on. To allow for crowd flow, you can only watch the parade from specific areas, and I duck under a rope into an open spot, which I think is allowed if there's space. I arrive 18 minutes before showtime and am more than happy with my view. Whilst waiting, I noticed that all free priority passes have now already sold out, so I ultimately decide that paying for Splash Mountain is my best option. It currently has a 2-hour standby time, so I pay 1500 yen to reserve my slot. Again, I feel like I'm part of the problem, I know, but you must remember that— oh, sorry, the parade's starting. By this point, everything is 60 or 90 or 120 minutes and beyond, so here's an idea. Let's refrain from trying to plan everything and go traditional with a good old-fashioned Disney wander. Over the next 3.5 hours, I pack in the highest density of wins yet. I start with Pirates of the Caribbean, and the ride continues to remain a classic, and for good reason. I then finally notice a restaurant that doesn't have a queue bursting out its doors. I order the Hungry Bear Curry, and for some strange reason, I'm absolutely gagging for a Coca-Cola. Oh yes, Coca-Cola #1. But no time to relax, I have Premier Access. Over to Splash Mountain then, and the weather's getting me well and truly prepared. As I arrive, the wait time stands at 135 minutes, but my paid access spins it into 15. This has always been my favourite from the Mountain trilogy, and easily the best Disney ride soundtrack out there. And then, of course, there's this. Oh, the Jungle Cruise. I have no idea what this guy's saying, but I'm all for it. Next, and contender for the world's greatest song to listen to for 10 minutes on repeat, It's a Small, Small World. Marking the definition of It's So Sweet, It's Scary, how could you not enjoy being under its spell? Normally, I remember being able to get at least 4 fast passes during a day at Disney, but it's now time for my second and final priority pass. It's another shooter ride, but since this one requires 2 hands and I'm very competitive, I have no time to film. And finally, there's the Western River Railroad, something I'd not normally do, but with a 15-minute line, it's hard to resist and is actually an enjoyable change of pace, especially during nightfall. These last few hours of back-to-back rides really feels like classic Disneyland, and that's because largely it is. I'm mostly left riding yesterday's rides, with fewer people in line and not having to think about using an app to reserve or pay for them, which is nice. This is the first time I've visited a Disney park that requires the app, and overall, I found its reliance kinda took me out of my surroundings. 10 years ago, the only real preparation you needed to know was the order of collecting FastPass tickets, and now, for me at least, it's gotten a little out of hand. Although I didn't realise it at the time, those FastPass machines and park maps I was using both benefited from being physically in the Disney world, so they weren't breaking immersion. Needing my phone so much to get the most from Disneyland is like playing Mario and needing to be in the menu screen more than the Mushroom Kingdom. There are obviously clear benefits to using this app, but my point is, there is a tangible cost of making your park rely so much on your own phone. For comparison, I use more data one day at Disney than I did over 2 days at Universal Studios. And I should note, I was able to do everything I wanted for my equally packed first day there, so let me know if that's a video that you'd like to see. So before the evening truly sets in, with the electric parade and final fireworks, what have I missed? The Haunted Mansion has remained around 90 minutes for the entire day, and it's the only ride I'm sad to miss. I've also given up on watching a live show, which is the first time I'm not able to see at least one during a visit. For performances, they have something called Entry Request. It's effectively a lottery where you have to request entry to see a show, because just turning up is no longer good enough. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful in that lottery, and after being refused once, you can't then apply again for that same show. The cast members I spoke to suggested I arrive 30 to 60 minutes before the next performance to have a possible chance of still getting in, but again it clashed with my other timed attractions, so it just fell by the wayside. Overall then, the pre-planning has mostly paid off. Unlike with previous visits, it did still come at the cost of needing a lot of extra organisation during my time here, and then of course paying twice for Premier access. But more than ever it seems, you do need a Disney plan to really get your money's worth here, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know how I truly feel about my day here. I do wonder though, what must be going through the minds of an unprepared family who just casually stroll in at 9 AM? Like, what are they thinking? Maybe it's just no longer possible to see everything you want in a single day, which is a good thing, but that choice also comes at a price and a change of mindset on my part going forward. One thing to keep in mind I found interesting before arriving. There's this online crowd calendar that all the Disney experts say is pretty accurate based on their years of visiting. It predicts how busy the park will be on a scale of 1 to 8, with 8 being insanity. Today is projected to be just a 3 out of 8, less than 30,000 people. Now, predictions are obviously just that, but even if this is a 4 or a 5, I don't even want to think what a 6 feels like. Unfortunately, my last few hours at Tokyo Disney were a little disappointing, and to no one's fault. I asked a cast member about the electric parade, and they said that due to the rain, it was unfortunately cancelled. I'm not exactly sure why, something about water and electricity, their English wasn't very good, but they did then raise a question mark over the likelihood of the final fireworks display from happening also. Looking for things to do even this late in the day, the wait times weren't coming down, and I was pretty exhausted. But I was able to duck into Star Tours one more time, enjoying another randomised sequence. I also got to grab that burger I'd wanted 8 hours ago. But the fireworks were eventually cancelled, which is just one of those things that can't be helped. To combat the overall disappointment that was hanging in the air, they did put on a scaled back parade as a consolation prize, which was appreciated. So as the parade passed me by, my time at Tokyo Disneyland was coming to an end. I made my final walk towards the exit, reflecting on the crazy day I just had. The good times, the not so good times, the hungry times, and the fun. The strange thing, that despite everything, despite any unexpected downsides that I'd experienced over the last 12 hours, I still looked back, over my shoulder. Well, this was a fun video to make. Welcome to those who are new to the channel, and welcome back if not. I tried to make YouTube travel videos that are unique in this world of copy and paste. They take a lot more effort than your average YouTube video, so please do share this one with your friends, especially if you have Disney friends out there. We make travel videos from all over the world, covering all aspects of travel, so if you want some more, I'll link a good follow-on video for you to watch here next. As mentioned, this was part of our 3-month trip around Asia, and I'll be releasing videos from that trip all over the coming months. So as ever, thanks for watching, Suitcase Monkey.